7:30. Roll call, William Johnston,
Here.
Thomas Graffinina,
Here.
Lisa Kreckler,
Here.
Lynn Colligan is excused, and Phil Diorio is present. We also have Stephen Kiley via Zoom. First order of business is approval of the minutes from April 17th. May I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have one application tonight, actually, two applications to discuss. The first is Keller. And Christina, you already read the legal notice, yes? So would you like to present?
Would please.
Please state your name for the record.
Well, my name is Cheryl Keller, and I'm a co-owner of 56A North Cartwright. My husband, Jim, is on a work trip, and he's on Zoom right there. He couldn't be here tonight, so I'll be making the presentation. We took excerpts of the application that we think are pertinent to the discussion, and I just brought them as a handout. So if I have your permission, I'd like to just hand them out to look at. It's all was in the application that we submitted, but I think it might be helpful.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Our family's been coming to Shelter Island since the year 2000, originally as renters, but as homeowners for the past 14 years. Since COVID, Shelter Island has been our primary home. We vote here, we attend church here, we devour the Shelter Island Reporter, and we spend as much time here as we possibly can, although my husband's job is in Wilmington, Delaware, and he has to go 3 days a week there. So once he retires, we will be full-time residents here in the next few years, more 7 days a week. As far as this renovation is concerned, I'd like to give you a brief explanation of what was a longer story. Our project began as a renovation in 2020 and was approved by the ZBA and the town board last March.
Oh, ma'am, so the
Yeah.
ZBA, we approved it. Was it last March?
It was last March.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it could have been April, but when I wrote this a month ago, I think I pulled out the paperwork and I looked it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I could be off by a month. The original 1950s era home, Dr. Blank, it's Dr. Blank's original home. He used to have his dental office in the garage there, was about 1,800 square feet. And our modest renovation would take it to 2,700 square feet with the addition of a small addition to the main floor and a partial second floor. We sought the ZBA and board approval a year ago because our home was about 1 foot too close to the neighbor to the north, who's Nancy and Andy Olson. That original house had 572 square feet within the setback, most of which consisted of 538 square foot deck that was all within the setback. The new project has only 69 square feet within the setback. The new structure reduces the square footage in the setback by almost 90%. I want to emphasize that
The reduction in the deck?
they took out the complete, they had like a sort of bowling alley deck on the side that ran around two sides. And was not really usable, it just was there when we bought the house, so we just took that down. And we didn't realize until we started this process that all of that was within the setback. Yeah, so it was an easy thing, honestly, to take out. I want to emphasize that what we're building here is exactly what this board and the town board approved last March. We have not deviated from the original plan at all.
Can I, there's something happened that you're
Yeah, and
here,
I'm
right?
just gonna get to that,
Okay.
if it's okay, I'm going right into it. As you can see from the exhibits, when renovation began, it became clear that the existing home was in far worse condition than what we anticipated. The structure was below required grade. There was no hurricane tie downs. The sills were missing or rotted. The support beams were undersized and had been drilled through. And there were no footings beneath the low-bearing supports, and large sections of the foundation were missing or cracked and crumbled. We now understand that we made a mistake in not coming back to the town for a demolition permit once the condition of the house became apparent. And tonight, I'm here to apologize for these mistakes. We accept responsibility. We have paid a substantial fine and cooperated fully with the town on this complete second town review, including putting a halt on the project for about 4 months now, at large cost. I'll emphasize again, though, that we did not deviate from the original plan that you approved last year. We're not off by 1 inch. After the work stoppage, we were required to do another survey, and it's exactly in the spot. The part that we continued with is exactly in the spot where you approved us to put this house. So none of this was a mistake, but it was not an effort to add anything additional to the house. In fact, in conversations with Reed Karen and my husband, the building inspector was gracious enough to label this an honest mistake. It was that. I mean, we are not in the business, my husband and I, of construction and building homes, and we relied on the advice of our team, that everything was moving along. And
So I just want to get this straight.
sure,
So the project starts,
the project starts,
so somebody's doing something there, a contractor or
our
something.
general contractor.
And then they run into a situation where the place is seemingly falling apart.
It's falling, the underpinnings of the house were completely below New York State code. It was not the kind of thing where we could put the new renovation on top of that, because it would not be sound.
And so now your contractor discovers that and he,
Just takes it all down.
without speaking to you?
I have to say, I mean, we're in regular contact, but did he say, oh gee, this is more of a demolition than we thought? That exact sentence did not happen. We relied on his expertise and our construction manager's expertise for, okay, we're gonna have to do more of a new foundation than we originally planned. And then we can go ahead with the house as originally constructed. We're not experts at this. And honestly, we just, every time, when they found stuff that was wrong, they just figured, well, we'll just take it out. And, we only learned later that that's not okay. It was not, to our knowledge, a problem. Because, to us, we're still building the same house that you guys approved.
And how much of the house was ultimately demoed?
What I will say is that, let me just look up.
There's some
the,
pictures in there.
Yeah, there's pictures, I would say refer to the pictures, but I'm looking at the foundation. Okay, so we were allowed 65 linear feet to be approved in the new foundation, but we were only allowed to use 46.5 linear feet because of the condition of the existing foundation. So, we took it down to the part of the foundation that was usable and had to build out from that. And let me just see if I can find that picture in here.
But ultimately, the whole house was torn down other than the foundation?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's where the building department said, well, listen, you weren't supposed to tear down the whole house.
Exactly right.
Um,
Because the parts that they were gonna keep of the house could no longer stay on top of that defective foundation. So in order to fix the foundation, they just went ahead with taking down what they needed to put a new foundation in. Or a substantially new foundation. So, we have pictures here comparing, for instance, the existing foundation to the new foundation.
Mhm.
And it points out the deficiencies of what was there. it was cracking and leaking, there was no waterproofing, there were no hurricane tie downs. There was also these slabs were underneath the house, which were not going to support the renovation that was gonna go on top of it. Those were not on the survey, like, it was just kind of a unpleasant surprise when they got to the ground level as to what was there. The pictures of the sills that are way below ground level. The footings have been drilled for, anyway, the house, I mean, it's a wonder that it was still standing, in the shape that it was in. So the fact is that we feel that as a homeowners, that this was an unsafe building that would not have met the New York State code. Now, of course, I mean, we felt through this whole renovation project that sometimes you make mistakes in order to learn how to go forward. We now know that going forward on that new foundation or substantially new foundation required a different permit. And so we have completely agreed to that and submitted to everything the town has asked us to do to fix that. Not a hammer has been lifted since the third week of December. So, which is entirely appropriate since we have this, with this issue with the town. So, but what I want to emphasize is that this was not something that, I know some people go ahead with a different permit in order to build a different house. We feel that in keeping a house under 3,000 square feet, which is only a bit bigger than the house that was there, that it's very much in conformance with the Shelter Island ethos of not huge houses. It was a modest house to begin with. We're keeping it a modest house compared to what's going up today, and very much in keeping with the neighborhood. So, you know, we'd like to keep going with it because it just seems to us that it's a house that's going to fit in with the neighborhood, be completely in conformance with what Shelter Island wants their town to be, and that we completely support. And that, again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but we haven't added a square inch. So it honestly was a mistake that we have owned up to and complied with every step of the way once that was pointed out to us. I'm not ducking that in any way.
Anybody have any questions?
No.
Tom?
No, just, so there was a stop work order
In December.
December 20.
Right, exactly. And we were told to reapply, which is what we did. And submitting the application, we ran into some snags. That it took us an extra month, but we've now got all the elements together for you all to review it completely without missing anything.
Any questions at all from up here?
No.
All right, do you mind if I ask if anybody in Zoom land would
Oh, no, of
like to make a
course.
comment?
No, of course.
Christina, will you just see if anybody has a hand up there? No? Okay. So let me just pull out my phone to get the calendar here.
And I probably should emphasize, because I deviated off my remarks, that one of the first things we would do if you were to give us the green light to resume this is to hire an experienced construction manager who would keep us within the bounds of the permit from beginning to end, and I think whose opinion we could rely upon to be accurate.
Okay,
Because we've proven that we can't.
I think we could close the hearing, leave it open to written comments
Right.
till May 8th, and we'll discuss it at our May 15th work session.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
All right, do I have a motion to close the hearing?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
aye.
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 Okay, thank you.
Could I just clarify that after that.
Yeah, so the hearing's closed.
Okay, never mind. All good.
Thank you. All right, so then we have 73 Shore Road and 62 Stearns Point Road, the Pro Amusement Program. The we're going to send this application out to our secret consultant. And to do that, we need to reopen the hearing here. So we have a motion that I'd like to introduce, and then if everybody's in favor of that, we can move forward with that. Whereas the hearing on the Pro and Music Program application was closed on April 24th, 2024. Whereas the requirements of SECRA compels the reopening of said hearing. Whereas a SECRA consultant has been engaged to assist the board in making a SECRA determination, and now therefore be it resolved, the hearing on the Perlman Music Program application will be reopened. May I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we're not going to do anything on this tonight. We're going to send it out and get a report from our consultant. And then at some point when that is done, we'll have to be renoticed, and we'll be back up here with some sort of report, and also an opportunity for the public to weigh in again and the applicants to weigh in again. All right. I don't think we have any other business here tonight, so if I get a motion to close the meeting,
I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
I'll second.
all in favor? Aye. Thank you.